If you're serious about growing food that actually performs, not just looks good on paper, then you're in the right place. Before we go any further, subscribe to Garden Wisdom. Drop a comment telling me what you grow most, and share this with one gardener who's tired of weak plants and slow harvests. Today, we're cutting straight through the noise and getting into a forgotten soil practice that modern gardening quietly avoids, yet plants still respond to it faster than compost ever could. Why gardeners in the 1800s relied on this method long before bagged fertilizer existed. In the 1800s, long before synthetic fertilizers and even before widespread composting systems, gardeners depended on immediate plant-available nutrition. One of the most powerful tools they used was diluted human urine as a soil feed. It sounds uncomfortable to modern ears, but it was common, regulated, and highly effective. Over time, sanitation laws, urbanization, and industrial fertilizer companies pushed it out of use. Not because it didn't work, but because it didn't fit modern systems. Plants, however, never stopped responding to it. Urine is not waste to plants. It is primarily nitrogen, along with phosphorus, potassium, and trace minerals in a form roots can absorb instantly. Compost, even excellent compost, must break down before plants can use it. That delay matters during active growth, flowering, and fruiting. Why this outperforms compost when plants need fast growth? Compost is slow by nature. It improves soil structure, microbial life, and long-term fertility, but it does not deliver immediate nitrogen spikes unless it is still actively decomposing, which carries its own risks. Diluted urine delivers nitrogen in nitrate, and urea forms that soil microbes rapidly convert into usable nutrients. That means greener leaves within days, faster stem elongation, and stronger flowering response. Gardeners in the 1800s understood timing. They didn't replace compost with this method, Instead, they supplemented it at moments when plants demanded more. Leafy greens, corn, squash, tomatoes, and brassicas all show a dramatic response because they are, nitrogen-hungry crops. How this became banned and misunderstood rather than disproven is quite a story. This practice wasn't banned because it failed. It was banned because of misuse, urban sanitation concerns, and fear rather than agronomic evidence. Undiluted application caused root burn, and poor hygiene led to odor and contamination concerns. Instead of refining the method, it was abandoned altogether. Industrial fertilizers filled the gap, and compost became the safe, slow alternative. What most gardeners never learn is that modern agricultural science confirms what those old growers already knew. When properly diluted and applied to soil, urine is safe, effective, and environmentally efficient. It produces less nutrient runoff than synthetic nitrogen and does not disrupt soil biology when used correctly. So how do you actually use this safely and correctly in a modern garden? Well, the key here is dilution and soil application. Fresh urine should always be diluted at a minimum ratio of 1 part urine to 10 parts water for heavy feeders like corn, cabbage, and tomatoes. For more sensitive crops such as lettuce or young seedlings, you really want to aim for a ratio closer to 1 to 15 or even 1 to 20. This level of dilution helps prevent salt buildup and protects those delicate roots. Apply it directly to the soil, never on the leaves, and always on ground that's already moist. For example, after watering your tomato bed, you'd pour the diluted solution around the base of the plants, keeping a few inches away from the stem. This approach allows the nutrients to move right into the root zone without shocking the plant. A practical schedule would be once every 2 to 3 weeks during active growth. If you're growing leafy greens, you'll often notice a deeper color and faster regrowth after just one application. So compost still matters, but it really shouldn't be your only strategy. Compost builds soil, you know. This method, it feeds plants. They actually serve different roles. Compost increases organic matter, improves water retention, and supports microbial ecosystems over the long term. On the other hand, diluted urine supplies immediate nutrition when plants are actively demanding it. Gardeners who rely only on compost often wonder why their plants stall mid-season or just fail to size up. The soil may be healthy, but the nutrients are locked away, and this is where the old method really shines. It bridges the gap between soil health and plant performance. There are, real examples from productive gardens that still use this today. Market gardeners and permaculture growers quietly use this approach to boost yields without purchasing fertilizer. A common example is corn that reaches full height weeks earlier than neighboring plots relying on compost alone. Tomato plants fed this way often show thicker stems, darker foliage, and heavier fruit sets because nitrogen is available exactly when the plant signals for it. In raised beds, this method is especially powerful because, nutrients tend to leach faster. A diluted application every few weeks keeps productivity high without degrading soil quality. Why should serious gardeners rethink old knowledge instead of just dismissing it? Gardening didn't become smarter simply because time passed. Some knowledge was lost because it didn't fit modern systems, not because it stopped working. This soil trick survives centuries because plants respond to it at a biological level. Nitrogen is nitrogen, regardless of where it comes from. Used responsibly, this method reduces waste, saves money, and delivers visible results faster than compost alone ever will. It demands respect, precision, and understanding, which is exactly what serious gardeners already bring to their craft. If this opened your eyes or challenged what you thought you knew, subscribe to Garden Wisdom for real, field-tested growing knowledge. Share this with another gardener who's ready to grow better, not just safer. Drop a comment below and tell me whether you rely on compost alone or if you're ready to rethink how you feed your soil.